Ladies and gentlemen, my next guest is Drew. He's a super awesome guy. He's actually a shaman.
Not officially,
Not
no.
officially.
I, I have a tendency to do shamanic things.
He's on a quest for the past 30 years
Mhm.
for knowledge and just to see what's going on in the universe. We've been talking a lot. He's just like a well of knowledge. So I just invited him to my podcast, and he was gracious enough to accept. And we're out here. How's it going, dude?
Wonderful, yeah.
Good, good. So I was wondering, tell me a little more about the energy field that we're talking about offset. Like everyone apparently has like this magnetic energy field, or what did you call it?
Well, generally it's referred to as a morphic field. It can emanate 30 feet out from us, um, and it's part of what makes up our whole torus, which is our personal electromagnetic field.
So people that can't see, it's just like a big circle you're trying to draw that comes inward,
Yeah, it comes
like with your
down,
hands.
down through the fontanelle, down through to the feet, and then back to the earth, and then back out into the big electromagnetic grid, which actually has a similar program.
The big magnetic electric grid. And what is that, dude? Is that like the force?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's what Star Wars plays on. I mean, every time they say the Force, you might as well be saying the field.
Yeah, I mean,
So yeah, that's actually what I do in my head when they say that, and I'm like, because the field rules all, as Einstein says.
yeah, we were
So
talking about that earlier. The sole governing particle is the field.
yep,
The sole governing agency of every particle is the field.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's very true. Um,
Interestingly enough, trees also have morphic fields as well. Believe it or not,
they
they're
do.
they're, they're like one of the few other things that do.
Really?
Yep. Uh huh.
How'd you learn about this?
Oh, that was a long time ago. I don't even remember where I learned that source from. But
Well,
yeah, trees have morphic fields as well. So
that makes sense because trees give off oxygen, and human beings need oxygen to live.
yeah,
More
yeah,
than water and food, you need oxygen. Literally, like you'll die within 5 minutes.
yeah. And people always, like talk about hippies hugging trees and stuff. And I think with them having the morphic field, it actually creates an energy exchange there.
Yeah, and I mean, we're out here and actually kind of like the forest. There's a lot of trees out here versus the
Hmm.
city.
Oh yeah.
And I remember one time I slept over and I woke up in the morning, dude, and I had this, I took a breath of fresh air, and there was so much more oxygen here than there is in the city, and I just felt different. Like I felt like, dude, why do I have so much energy in the morning? And it was legitimately the trees.
Yeah. And why do I have so much clarity in my head?
Yeah, yeah, seriously, exactly. I wasn't like dazed because it takes me like a minute or two to come back after
Hmm.
like a dreaming
Yeah.
or just being asleep, and I was just like up.
Yeah.
Have,
Getting clean oxygen all night.
yeah, I was, dude. That felt great. So if you're saying there's energy, yeah, there's definitely
Yeah.
some type of energy in trees.
A person once told me that trees are master communicators. I thought that was a really awesome
Cool.
thing.
Have you ever heard of the witches hour
Um,
of people doing things between 1 a.m. and 4 a.m.?
oh, not specifically like that. No.
Okay. Apparently, like when people do like rituals or shamanic work or spiritual work, when you do it between those hours, it's more potent because
Mm-hmm.
apparently like you're a little more sleepy.
Mm.
Have you heard of that?
No. My teacher always told me to get up at 4:30 and start working with the light and everything.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So maybe that's for some darker energy work or something.
Yeah, or what? Yeah, that too. What I mean is like apparently when you're between that time, it could be different from different people.
Yeah.
Like you're a little more sleepy, so
Yep.
you have one foot in the dream state, you have one foot in the
Hmm.
waking state.
Yeah.
What are
Super
your thoughts on that?
powerful. I think that's a super powerful thing. I consider it like a trance-like state, and or like a friend of mine calls it hypnagogic. I like
Hypnagogic state.
hypnagogic. Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that word. I think it's a fun word. But so like literally every time you're in and out of sleep, you're in a hypnagogic state. Like when you first wake up, you're in a hypnagogic state. That's why you don't want to like reach for your phone right away. Otherwise, your third eye, which is still in the sleep mode, will get really attached to your electronics for the day. You'll find.
Mm. Well, what I do is I reach for my phone, and what I do is I just put on my morning guided meditation, and I meditate for like 30 minutes or 45 minutes,
Yeah,
and I go
super.
within.
Yeah, super smart.
Yeah, and then after that, I just have a great day.
Yeah, yeah, and it's also a really potent time to like receive visions and stuff from the universe
Yeah,
and everything.
yeah. That's why I feel like when people wake up in the middle of the night, take advantage of that.
Uh huh. Uh,
Like seriously, like there's a reason you're up.
Always,
I don't
every
think it's
single
random.
time. Yep, yep. And there's Chinese medicine too that focuses on what time you wake up as to what part of your body you need to work on as well.
Yeah,
Uh huh. Yep.
that's interesting. Actually, I've heard something about that. Apparently, they only do surgeries at certain times.
Oh, that would make
Yeah,
sense.
some people said that too. That's crazy, dude. Tell me a little more about the field. It's very interesting. It's
Mhm.
there. It's just like the Force. I know we can wield it.
Mhm.
Um, and I mean, I've never seen anyone levitate things, but just like a Jedi, I think it's possible because I know people to heal people. I've seen that with my own eyes. I've done that.
Mhm.
I know people.
I've healed people.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You want to know a little more about that?
Yeah, I mean, I've literally pulled energy out of people and healed them. This one girl had a 20-year tummy ache, and it was all residual energy from a sexual assault. And yeah, I, put my left hand on her, which is the receiving one, and
Uh-huh.
then I had my other hand to the ground and just sucked it right out. It was incredible. I couldn't even believe it.
You couldn't believe you actually did that.
I was surprised. Yeah, it was surprising at first, and I was like, oh, because like I picked up like some of the moment, and
So she had psychosomatic problems, like she had like bottled up emotional trauma for
well,
years.
I think actually like how I saw it was more like the emotional trauma of the gentleman was left in her.
Oh, from his trauma,
Yeah,
which is probably passed down because he probably had trauma, which is why he did something bad to her,
probably. Yeah, that's
and
usually how it works.
and he imprinted that on her,
And then it imprinted on her. Yep.
and then
Yep.
he got it out. Um, so I mean, of course, he genuinely helped her in that
Mhm.
situation. Would
Definitely.
do you have to say to do those type of things? Do you have to be in like a I don't want to say psychological a different state, but you have to have an open heart. You have to go in with a pure intention.
Yeah, well, and energetically open too, for sure. I think that's like the biggest thing. You have to be open to receive, otherwise, there's no room.
Yeah, yeah.
And then what I found too, I mean, there's one thing about being open to receive, but you also have to be able to let it go. And that's can be the trickiest part, actually.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, well, you're not really doing it for yourself, so you help her and then you just let go.
Well, ideally, yeah, you give it to Mother Earth, the big
Oh,
mother.
you mean when you're taking that away from her?
Uh
Like you
huh.
don't want to bottle that up within
You
you.
don't, I
You
don't
want to
want
just
it.
get that.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. I
I
can
don't think you want that.
yeah, Vios
Oh,
con
okay, okay.
Dios
I got it.
down the river.
Okay, so when you're saying during the energy transference, you're
Yeah,
taking that pain away from her, but technically for a very split second or a moment, you have that on you, and then you just get rid of it.
I did. Yeah, yeah. Like that particular time, it stayed with me for probably about 10 minutes, I think.
Okay, I thought you meant you have to let go of the ego because
Oh,
I've noticed people that are like you call them practitioners or shamans or healers.
mhm.
Dude, some of them develop very very unhealthy egos
Yeah.
because they're like I could do this and no one else could do this. Technically, we all have it within us, I
Every
believe.
single one of us
Yeah,
have the capability. I know that anything I can do, any of us have the capability of doing. We just have to exercise that muscle memory until it starts to work.
nice. That's one thing that's been bothering me that these people have like egos,
Yeah.
even though maybe they started off with pure intentions, but they develop an unhealthy ego.
Yeah.
Um, what do you think that comes from, brother?
Yeah. Well, you know, the ego protects what is small, so that tells me that they're not really fully embodied in the work they're doing. You know, yeah, oh, I can do this, but it doesn't mean that I'm necessarily doing this for the full benefit of everyone. I'm doing this probably more so I can get money or something like that. Like their intentions aren't always necessarily as clean as they could be or should be, you know, but they have opened up that energy transfer.
Okay. And since we're talking about Star Wars, so how does one fall into the dark side? Would it be like greed, envy, jealousy, all those things that Yoda talks about?
Well, yeah, I mean, we are human and
Yeah,
so
we are human.
imperfect, and what I have come to notice is, we have extremely poor teachers right now, that's passing down information to us, generally speaking, So my guess is they had poor teachers, that didn't really teach them super properly about everything.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of these gurus,
Hmm.
they fall off of the path because I don't know, something happens. Just I mean, they probably
Well,
sleep around with their disciples or students.
all that, and I think what happens is like,
Let me fix this a little bit so your beard.
yep.
All right, go.
um, um, I think what happens too is when you're only surrounded by admirers, everybody's telling you how awesome you are and how great you're doing and everything. Nobody ever gives you any self checks like, hey, bro, you might want to,
Chill,
yeah,
chillax, dude. Stop
and
having porn parties.
yeah, or take a look at yourself for a second again.
Yeah, I actually had a girl that I met at a meditation retreat, and yeah, she was able to go to source, like have kundalini breaths and have
Hmm.
like mystical experiences from what she said, and I was able to see her like totally like spasm out.
Oh, I'm sure.
And now I talked to her, and she's like, I want to be a healer, and she was all into like nice things, and she's like, well, the issue is I don't have a name. I need the people to call me a name, and I was like, you don't really need one. Just start healing. All healing people just start,
Hmm.
to get good at something, you have to start and then just continually do it without your ego.
Yeah.
And I told her, she's like, no, you don't understand. I'm from Metro. People need to call me something. I need to have a title. I was like, that's your ego talking. I'm like, you don't need any of that shit. You just do it. And she didn't like that, bro.
Yeah.
Because I had to check her.
Yeah.
'Cause
Well, it'll be created just by the fact that you're healing. Your name will be created, and you let the universe make it for you.
that's what I told her. I was like, just start healing people, and
Hmm.
people will start calling you something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like Nancy, the healer. Nancy
Yeah.
the healer.
I had to let that go for myself and just like surrender to the universe, because I kept wasting so much energy worrying about trying to define myself and what I was capable of. And finally I came to the realization that all I got to do is just do what I do and be me, and the
Yeah.
universe will take care of all the rest for you.
That does, bro. That's
It was
actually
a
very true.
relief.
That's actually very true, dude. There's something when you say the universe, we're
Yeah.
referring to the field, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, because when you say trust the universe, dude, um, like I set an intention and I think of it, put the emotion behind it, and then you just blow it out to the ether or the universe or the field,
Yeah.
and then somehow, bro, whether it's days, months, weeks later, it just comes back to me. But time doesn't play a factor
Yeah.
because it's not like, oh, I want to wish a Ferrari and it just happens. Apparently, time and the field or the universe, they don't really coincide because the way we perceive time is very different from.
Well, the way we've been taught to perceive time.
Yeah, elaborate on that, bro.
Well, I mean, all of the time is always here, all of the time. I mean, it's always accessible. Edgar Casey, the Sleeping
Oh, I
Prophet,
love it.
talks about that a lot. Accessing what they call the Akashic records, which is basically time.
And I really, really like Edgar Casey. He was probably in the 50s and 60s. He was a good
and,
old,
and earlier too, yeah.
yeah, he was like a good old country cornbreaded kid. He had no mystical knowledge and things like that, but he just had this gift because he was a farmer from the Midwest. And he just came out of nowhere because a lot of people have to study this stuff or they have to have a mentor, someone show it to them.
Yeah.
He had no one, dude, and he had this ability, and people from around the world would come and visit him. And it came to a point where he became so popular that scientists from around the country came and did studies on him.
Oh yeah.
And they're like, "Holy shit, this guy's really having a transcendental moment
Yeah.
or a mystical moment." And they would like not inject them. They would like poke them with like sharp, like a syringe.
Probes or something.
Yeah, probes and stuff like that. Because me and you would yell from the pain, but he was like out.
Hmm.
And he said that he said something really important. He's like, we all have this within us.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Super
dormant,
important.
yeah, but we all have this within us.
1,000,000% we do.
How do you think people could unlock that?
That's a wonderful question. I myself choose plant medicines,
Okay,
and I believe that that's like our true sacrament to unlocking our knowledge and inner knowledge.
okay. So that's one way.
Hmm.
And just to point out, there's numerous ways.
Oh, there's many, many ways, many, many ways. But I mean, uh, the fact that we all have the capability to do it is what I think really needs to be known.
Yeah.
So many people are running around, being run by their minds and not contributing to society. They're not evolving. Because I mean, our DNA is constantly evolving to our actions.
Uh-huh.
So the more positive things we can throw down into the universe, the better the whole picture will get.
Yeah. And the more you're able to help others. I
Hmm.
feel like the more I help other people, bro, good things end up coming back to me.
Yeah.
It's just but I don't do it for like selfish reasons, like, oh, let me help this person so twice as much. But if I just do it like, just give a homeless guy $5,
Hmm.
something that happens.
Yeah. I always like to say, your healing is my healing.
Your healing is my healing.
Hmm.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because we're all sharing this whole field together.
Yeah, we are. And is there like a negative side to the field from your
Oh
understanding?
well, I mean, you have the yin and yang,
Yeah, you
so
do
I
have the
mean,
yin and yang.
there
Yeah.
is there is the positive, negative, and I mean, we generate our own negative forces too. I mean, just from our internal thoughts, and we
Yeah.
can generate positive forces out into the universe from positive thoughts.
Yeah. That's why when right when I wake up in the morning, I always like to meditate because we all have those negative thoughts in our heads, but it checks it.
Hmm.
Like, whoa, 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 why are you having this negative thought? Your past behaviors don't coincide with this. So don't have this negative thought anymore.
Yeah.
Or you have the thought like, okay, well, it doesn't really affect me, just get rid of it.
Yeah, like when I have a negative thought, I always like to look and see why is it there? What's its purpose? Why did it come up?
Hmm.
Where's its actual root? So like if I have a negative thought, I'll either like stop and check it and not allow it to just wander off, and B, I'll try to see like what part of my psyche it came from to try and assess like why it's there, because I mean technically it really shouldn't be.
Okay. So what you do is you stop, you acknowledge it, you analyze it,
Hmm.
and you think about it a little bit, but then you let it go. You don't dwell on it.
Oh, no, you can't dwell on any single thing.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah, I do
like
know,
like
but
even
I'm just
yeah,
we have we're on the podcast, dude.
even when you get mad, I always like to say, that it's a natural occurring thing. Storms happen, but the storm's got to go.
The storm has
Uh,
got to go, bro.
yeah,
You don't want to be stuck in the storm.
I always got to let the energy keep moving.
Let the energy. Um, yeah, the only constant in life is change. Yoda
Hmm.
said that too.
Yeah, every second of every day of every moment of everything is change.
Dude, there's this famous quote. I just have to throw it in there now, and this is by Star Wars. So Disney, don't sue me. It says, attachment is the shadow of greed,
Mm.
jealousy,
Hmm.
and he's like, train yourself to let go of everything you fear to lose.
Yeah,
The only constant in life is change.
yeah. Sounds like a reworded Buddha phrase. you know.
Probably, I don't know. Hey, you talk to George Lucas about that one.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, just learn to let go of the things you're afraid to lose, because I think that's what leads to like destructive relationships or like people's downfalls. Would you agree?
Well, I think it can. Yeah, like right now, just with the way society is, and referencing what I was talking about before with the thoughts, is we allow our minds to run ourselves so much, that it keeps us in such an unhealthy place, and we're never looking at our minds or even like trying to figure out what's going on with it, and literally like our minds are attached to the field. I mean, it's the collective unconsciousness. We have what 90% of our brains that's unconscious, that's being used to help generate this field around us, you
Oh,
know?
actually, that just reminded me of something I did last night. Actually, I made a conscious decision, because of you. Because I mean, as people know, I'm going to the dark meditation room in Guatemala next week, and
Hmm.
I was talking to the former general manager, who's still kind of in the picture,
Hmm.
and she would go in with that with the player, and listen to like guided meditations for the 5 days. And remember, we're talking about this on Friday,
Hmm.
and I'm like, should I go in with it? Should I not go in with it? And you're like, don't. I'm like, what about those thoughts that come up? You're like, well, you need to acknowledge those thoughts
Hmm.
and think about them. And why are they coming up?
Yep.
And this is the perfect time to do it.
Yeah, and
So
you'll be in a slow enough spot to where you'll actually be able to like when I'm able to get into a slow enough spot, I can literally like watch my thoughts too, and you can watch how they'll come out of the older part of the brain, the serpent part, and
the
then
reptilian
yeah,
brain.
exactly, and then it gets to the monkey, and usually the monkey part of the brain is where the trauma is stored, and I've watched like how the monkey like sometimes will get confused and not put things in the right little direction.
Ah,
It's kind of a weird thing,
yeah.
but
Yeah, I guess it can be if you're not really used to it.
hmm
But anyways, I was talking to her. She's like, "Are you ready?" I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "Oh, did you make your place?" I was like, "Honestly, I just made a conscious decision. I'm just gonna go in without it because I want the full experience too.
yeah,
Because here's the thing. I want to be able to go within. How am I gonna go within when there's someone outside guiding me?
exactly, yep, and with a constant distraction,
What?
which is already going on all around us all the
Yeah,
time. So the whole point is to eliminate that distraction
yeah,
and get into your down and dirty, and free yourself.
yeah. Because I'm paying a lot of money, dude. I'm traveling 4,000 miles.
hmm
I want the full fucking experience.
Yeah, yeah. Give yourself the opportunity to have the full medicine experience.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, it is medicine, I guess.
A
Yeah,
hundred
silence.
percent.
Silence is medicine.
Well, just inner work. Period.
Inner work is
I-
yeah, yeah,
Inner work. Period is medicine.
yeah. Um, yeah, yes, because when you think of medicine, you would think of something you pop like a pill or something like that, but it's really
hmm
not. It could be medicine. You're
No.
healing yourself,
Yeah, and to me, nature is the medicine. Music
dude.
is the
Yeah,
medicine.
yeah.
Yeah.
Would you say like animals are medicine too? Because they're there
Oh,
for you.
yeah. It's nature. It's 100%. I mean,
So, so you have two dogs and a cat.
yeah.
So I'm not really a cat person myself, but I feel like numerous people have told me that cats have this sixth, or I could even say seventh sense about the afterlife, or like behind the veil, as we could
Mm-hmm.
say.
Yeah.
Because they've said they've had like ghost experiences and their cats were on full alert.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. And the dogs pick up on spirits in the property a lot too. I'll
They do.
notice. Oh yeah, for sure. Rue barking at literally nothing, just going just
Ape
silly.
shit, like
Yeah,
on.
yeah, really silly. And there's definitely like this property is pretty imbibed with spirits.
Yeah, yeah, that's what we'll say. But do you feel like cats do have like, because in a lot of old cultures, bro, they used to worship cats. Like
hmm
ancient Egyptians, they put cats on a pedestal.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. Even my teacher in Peru says that cats are magic. You know.
they have magical abilities at least.
Yeah, and yeah, I mean, I've watched them like you know perform what I would consider to be magical things.
Really?
So
Like what?
yeah.
Give me an
Well,
example.
just moving energy. When you wouldn't expect that. Like my cat. I've watched him like take negative energy from people, and he runs and he hides it in the little closet over here.
You're not the first or second person to say that to me on this podcast. Actually,
Uh-huh.
I've heard this.
Yeah, yeah, and I've watched him like for 20 minutes. He went back and forth, pulling the negative energy, and go over to the closet, and then he'd come back, grab some more, and go back to the closet.
Nice.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
bad energy, just throw it in
uh-huh.
the closet.
Yeah, yeah. It was hilarious. It was awesome.
Nice. I don't know, man, but there's something about cats. I don't know if I don't like them or they just have a sense of entitlement that I don't like. But it's starting to grow on me, dude. Because I've been to a lot of people's houses and there's cats that come near me, and I'm like, they're starting to grow on me.
Yeah, they're pretty awesome and cute.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Lots of funny energy too.
Good. Good.
Yeah,
So the characters.
yeah, and like what I always like to do too is for self-reflection, and growth is like anytime anything bothers me, anything like okay, this cat's a little too close. Well, like why is this bothering me? Why am I allowing or choosing in at
Mhm.
that moment to accept being bothered?
Mhm.
You know, that's like kind of the domain we should have over our minds.
Yeah. Well, I used to think like that too, but and then when cats would come near me, I'm like, oh, the cat likes me. That's a
Uh-huh.
good thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
He's
or
not threatened by me. I'm not a bad person. Or
exactly.
Brandon likes me. Yeah. Brandon's his roommate, by the way. Um. So you said cats are magical. One thing I want to ask you: do you think magic is science we don't understand yet?
Well, yeah, because everything is focused on magic, every single thing, and science is doing its best to put a description to the magic.
Yeah, but it doesn't fit because I've talked to scientists, and they use the what they call it, the scientific method to
Yeah.
understand things and multiply it. But the
Yeah.
problem is, I feel like magic or energy work or spiritual work or is from consciousness, your thoughts.
Yeah.
And there's 8 billion people with 8 billion thoughts. How the hell are you gonna put that into the scientific effect?
Well, I mean, I think like it, magic is just m- science we don't understand yet.
Yeah,
You know, because I mean, literally everything breaks down mathematical. You know, the whole field breaks down mathematical. You know, most like plant growth is all mathematical. The golden ratio.
yeah.
You know.
Because when you took away that girl's pain, someone. I mean, I think maybe you did it. You surprised yourself, but there's a way of doing it
Hmm.
that the shamans were able to teach you.
Oh yeah.
And then you could teach that to me. I could teach it to Brandon or someone else. But here's the thing: then we could come up with like a protocol
Hmm.
of how technically it works.
Hmm.
Um, so we're able to do it. So we could like kind of demystify it. But I want to help people understand that you, at least at the very basic level, you can help yourself. You can heal yourself if you're in pain and suffering, dude. If you write affirmations, there's scientific evidence that you can change your own genes
Yeah.
after a while.
Well, yeah, and you can learn to release your own pain because usually, you know, the body is storing pain to try and tell you something, you know, and most of the time we're just sitting here trying to deal with our pain as opposed to, you know, like get into our pain and find out actually what the true energetic of it is, you know. Why is this in my field? Why am I allowing this to bother me right now?
Yeah.
You know.
So I was listening to someone, Billy Carson, by the way, and he actually showed evidence that scientifically proven that if you write down affirmations and say it 3 times a day, you can literally change your genes. So what I started doing was, because I had metabolism problems, slow
Mhm.
metabolism,
Mhm.
over bloating. That was in the past. But like for the past month and a half, 2 months, I was writing it down that I'm healthy, happy, and I have a fast metabolism. And
Mhm.
it's slowly starting to grow, dude. Like I could tell my metabolism's changing.
Mhm.
I'm like my stomach area's lighter, so it's starting to work.
Yeah.
So
Well, you've written it down enough for yourself that you're starting to actually believe it.
I am believing it, brother.
Yeah.
Um, yeah,
So
it's in my
that's where it's
subconscious.
all at.
Yeah,
Everything's in the power of belief.
yeah, it is.
So the next time I was able to heal somebody, I didn't even actually have to put my hand on them. I was able to. What I ended up doing is I actually put my head down to the floor, touched Mother Earth, and literally just like came right out.
You were able? Did you hang on to it, or you just?
It still came to me, yeah.
But you
Yeah.
got rid of it.
I was able to get rid of it. That one was a little bit harder.
So when you're saying it came to me, dude, I cannot picture that or wrap my mind around how you took someone else's pain and you bottled it up and within you for a moment.
Yeah.
How does that feel?
Oh, it's unnerving. It's like having an infection. It makes me break out into a sweat for a little bit. I get a little shaky too.
That's physically.
Hmm.
How does it like mentally or emotionally feel?
Oh, well, I mean, so the first time where I laid hands, there was a lot of visualization that came with that one.
Really,
A
you
lo-
saw mental images.
uh-huh. Yeah, yeah, of people people's past trauma and stuff, you
What if a scientist is like, this is baloney? What would you say to that person? I believe you,
know.
but seriously,
The proof is in the pudding. She's all better and she had a tummy ache for 20 years. I mean, there's
and she's good,
yep, still good.
good, and
Yep.
you checked with her.
Oh yeah, I've seen her like twice now, I think, and then
Nice,
she also checked in with a friend of
nice,
mine.
good. I mean, I believe that stuff. The first time I truly was when I was at a Joe Dispenza meditation retreat. Dude, some guy with stage 4 cancer within weeks was able to cure himself. He even took like it wasn't like, oh, I think I feel better. Dude, you have stage 4 cancer. Like you're sick.
Hmm.
Scientists, whatever, they checked him. They're feeding him with like chemotherapy, and
No.
then he stopped it. So he went to meditation. He was meditating for hours and hours. All he wanted was one thing, brother, to get healthy.
Yep. So then the question, for him is like, what negative cycle were you in to create the cancer to begin with, and how can you take that negative cycle that created that and turn that into a positive for yourself and get yourself walking on a positive, loving forward path, you know? And I think that's like the number one thing to creating healing for ourselves.
Yeah, so easier said than done, but yeah, he
Oh,
was able to do it.
definitely.
He was able to do it. So
Yeah.
I was close with his brother, and I FaceTime his brother. Actually, I called him and I was like, "Hey, I just want to check in with you guys. They're from Canada." I'm like, "How's your brother? How's his cancer?" He's like, "What cancer?" I was like, "Wait a minute, I'm FaceTiming you right now."
Yeah.
So I FaceTime him. He's like, "Yeah, bro, my brother's here," and I'm like, "Dude, he gained like 10, 15 pounds. He seemed healthier, happier." He's like, "Yeah, we took a cancer mark test, and I'm below average. That means you're good. Like me and you would be average."
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, "So what are you gonna do, bro? You just cured your own cancer." He's like, "Yeah, I'm going to Cuba with my girlfriend for a month." I was like, "Enjoy life."
Yeah.
So once that became my reality, and I saw that, like I saw him firsthand, bro. He was really sick.
Yeah.
His face and like he was bad.
Mm-hmm.
After that, I was like, dude, if this guy could do that, then I have no limits. I could do anything I want, really. I just
Yeah.
have to truly believe it and embody it.
Yeah. Eliminating self-limiting beliefs.
Or an easier way to say it is getting out of your own way.
Yeah.
Getting
Yeah.
out of your own way, because you're the one who stops you, like, oh, maybe I shouldn't do
Yeah.
this.
I always like to say though, you got to get in your own way before you can get out of your own way.
You have to
You got to
elaborate.
get, because you want to get inside and learn yourself, you know, and then you'll be able to get out of your way more effectively.
Yeah. That's one way. Oh, yeah. Um, so that you can do. I'm trying to spin this around what we talked about earlier with the Matrix, Morpheus and Neo, when they were doing that training in the first movie, where he was trying to teach him a fight. He's like, "Don't think you're faster than this. No, you are."
Mm-hmm.
So, like you did it the first time, that healing that girl, and the second time around it was easier, because you actually believe that you can do this. You've done it once.
Yeah, yeah, the power of belief was totally behind me, and I think that's why I didn't even have to put my hands on her the second, you know, on a different girl. Use them the second time, and it was really super unique because you could actually watch the energy just pull right out of her, and then it went down into the earth, and then went right to me.
Mm. So it has to go somewhere, right?
Well, I mean, ideally, if I was actually like a trained shaman or something, I would probably just send it directly into the earth, and work some feathers and stuff like that,
I mean, at least you helped it, bro. Bottom line, and
Uh huh.
you didn't suffer from it.
Like 10 minutes.
I mean, for someone with 10 years of pain, I think
Yeah.
10 minutes
Oh, I
is
know it works out.
yeah, it does. It does.
Yep.
But
Well,
here's the thing: you do it numerous times. 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there. Then you shave it to 8 minutes.
mhm.
Then you shave it to 5 minutes. Next thing you know, you have like 100 people down your belt.
Mhm.
It's like this in a fraction of the time. We think those shamans in Peru are like that. They've helped so many people that they know what's going on.
Mhm. Yeah, exactly. It's like working muscle memory. You keep exercising, it just keeps getting better. It just keeps getting more powerful.
Yeah.
I mean, some people choose to lift weights. I choose to lift energetics.
I choose to do both, bro. Actually, I swim more. I swam today.
Oh,
I
good.
like swimming, just being in the water.
Yeah.
But yeah, doing my energy. I was working on Kundalini breaths yesterday. But that was good. Yeah,
Mhm.
did like an hour and a half minutes. That's where I actually thought about you.
All right.
Yeah, and what you were telling me about like the power of intention and what it takes what to be a full shaman.
Mhm.
We were talking about. I guess it's just that belief. You said like you can have all the training in the world,
Mhm.
but if you don't truly believe that you can do it, like help people, how are you gonna be able to help people?
Exactly. And then after that, it's just a matter of having, clean intent. Literally,
So
that's the difference between a good shaman and a bad shaman. Is their
clean intent.
is their intent?
Yeah, but it's harder to spot that. Yeah,
Yeah.
right. I mean,
I mean, in theory, yeah. I mean,
it's not like they're holding a gun to you.
if we paid more attention to our intuition, Mother Earth will tell us and guide us and
Yeah.
show us like which people we should probably avoid. And most of the time, we actually like feel it, but we think our way out of our intuition and then ignore that feeling.
Yeah, and when you went like that, ladies and gentlemen, those of you that can't see, he actually touched his stomach and his core right here,
Yeah.
which means you should follow your gut feeling, your stomach, which has a 90% of serotonin in there.
Mhm.
So it tells you stuff. That's your third brain apparently.
Yeah.
Your brain, top of your head, and then your second brain, your heart, and then apparently your stomach is your third brain.
Yeah, the solar plexus is connected to the sun.
Ooh, watch out. The chakras. Let me ask you something, because you've been to Peru a couple times.
Yep, 6 times.
Nice. And I told him about this town I'm going to, and he's like, yeah, bro, I've been there. I bought my plane tickets and everything. I'm all ready to
Mm-hmm.
go.
Yeah.
Actually, last night it cost me like $400 to go from Guatemala to Peru, which is kind of expensive because they're so close. But still,
Yeah, yeah.
it's well worth it, bro.
Yeah, it's not too bad actually.
Yeah. No?
Mm-mm.
Good. I see people that do work with magic or healing. This is like old, but like in different countries, they use an egg. They put it
Mm-hmm.
around them, and I've heard stories, bro. Can you please? I talked to Sean about this. Can you please elaborate on that? Like, what's up with the egg, bro? And they put it around the person, and then they get their aura or something.
Well, it's funny you bring that up. Like, I participated in my first egg healing probably like 3 weeks ago.
Did you?
Yeah, yeah, that's hilarious. So
Okay.
yeah, a shaman friend of mine walked me through it and did some of it on me, and then guided me to help do the egg healing on myself, and then we both did an egg healing on Brandon
Did you?
together. Yeah, after
Okay.
that, so it was
Um,
really super fun.
you don't need to tell me how, because I'm sure that's probably sacred. Or you can if you want. But what's up with the egg, dude? And how does it like take your aura, your energy? Like, what? A lot of people use this. I've heard stories numerous times. It's not a coincidence when you hear it 10, 15 times.
Yeah, it was really wild. Like, a lot of mine was out of the heart area,
Mm-hmm.
'cause I'd been doing a lot of cord cutting lately, and after we had done the egg healing, you can read the egg and it'll tell you like what it did.
That's crazy. I mean,
Yeah,
yeah, that,
yeah. So
but
we cracked the egg open and we're reading the egg, and literally there was like a little like cord coming out of the yolk that was cut.
really?
Yeah, it's trippy.
So in my culture, my mom does this a lot actually, and people come to her. I wouldn't say she's a psychic, but I mean she's able to do it.
Mhm.
They have like Armenian coffee.
Mhm.
It's like Turkish coffee, Armenian coffee, like those little. It's
Mhm.
like a shot of espresso.
Demitasse. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. They're really
dude, you're a
yummy.
coffee guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so you have it in like a little cup, like a
Yeah.
mini cup. You drink it, and then you put it upside down, and like the coffee kind of like comes down, and it forms into shapes.
Mm.
And you leave it for 5 minutes, and grab it and they read it.
Yeah, read the grounds. Yeah, just like
Yeah,
reading the tea leaves.
yeah,
That's old custom too.
that is
Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
okay.
reading the tea leaves in the bottom of your cup.
Reading the tea leaves in the bottom of your cup.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it's supposed to be all kinds of fortune involved with it and stuff. I couldn't tell you the specifics though.
How do you think? Okay, so I've been reading a lot about time, um, and apparently the past, the present. I mean the past, the present, the future are somehow connected and intertwined.
Mhm.
But I can't really wrap my head completely around that because I've come to a point where apparently people can know things without knowing them beyond space and time, clairvoyance. And
Mhm.
also, I've read studies where it's kind of crazy because the future can affect the past. That is a little harder for me to grasp. Do you have any
Yeah.
knowledge or understanding about that? I'm sure you read a lot, brother. You're very knowledgeable.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, and it I mean, it's all to me like so not understood fully yet, like the full capabilities of what's really going on in this existence.
Yeah.
All we have is our limiting beliefs and then our ability to try and describe the magic that's going on, you know. But
Uh,
the funnest thing that I've been thinking about lately is that
chocolate? Nah, that's an inside joke.
yeah, is that we're actually existing in an organic AI that was created in the future.
You mean like the Matrix? You mean
Uh,
artificial
essen-
intelligence?
Essentially, yeah, but it's an organic form of it.
What do you mean organic? Like it's alive?
Like, yeah,
The field is alive?
yeah, yeah. It's constantly I mean, you can see. I mean, it's constantly moving, reacting, and doing everything.
I've heard that from numerous people. But here's the thing. Apparently, when you go into your subconscious or like super meditate or use plant medicine, you're able to take off that VR headset
Mm.
and help create the world you want.
Oh, we are co-creators. That's why we're here.
Yeah,
Uh huh.
yeah.
Yeah, we're always co-creating, Uh, that's what I was talking about, like the collective unconsciousness. That unconsciousness is constantly helping create what's going on
Yeah.
outside of us.
Um, and I've seen this when people are in numbers, or say 5, 10, 15, and they meditate or they're trying to heal one person. It's a lot more stronger and potent than versus when you do it by yourself.
Yeah, it's like a multiplier as opposed to
Yeah,
addition.
yeah. I've done like coherence healings where you just do it with your hands and you open up your heart and you do it like 4 people. I mean, it's a room full of 1,500 people. And like I talked to the people afterwards, I'm like, did you feel anything? They're like, yeah. The second you move your hands on me, you don't touch them. You're like at least a foot or two away.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, I felt this surge of heat in my body and it felt warm. And I was like, really? You can actually feel that? They're like, yeah, it's your chi. I was
Mm-hmm.
like, I got a lot of energy. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's something there, dude. When like it kind of sounds cheesy when someone's like a complete scientist, but when you go interview like 10, 15 people from like 5 different parts of the world that don't even know each other, and they consistently say the same thing, like, okay, there's something there.
The scientist is forced to make it sound cheesy because he doesn't understand it.
Yeah, seriously.
But it's quite obvious that it's there, and it's quite obvious that it's existed for a long time. I mean, you have Eastern,
Right.
practices that have talked about it for thousands and thousands and
Yeah.
thousands of years. It's just, we've been taught and trained to unbelieve it.
Yeah. Or I've never been introduced to it.
Yeah, I mean, if we were being taught properly, I mean, school would be about learning the energies that are going on, learning about our minds, and learning about puberty. Those are the three things that we actually would need to learn about to have a healthy life.
And don't pollute the planet, which is
Yeah,
already like,
yeah,
something that you should not be doing.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, to me, you always respect your host.
Yo, yeah. Yeah.
I always respect your host.
Definitely always respect. That's why I showed up here and we're about to cook and have
Yeah,
some spicy food.
yeah. I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, another thing. Apparently when you're in a good mood and you're cooking, dude, the food comes out better and tastier because you have good intention. You the energy around you is nice. But then again, if you're a shitty chef, or let's say you're a good chef but you're in a bad mood, dude, you can actually poison people.
Yeah, yeah. It's funny that you mentioned that.
A lot of things are
There's
funny.
a Indian food place that I love, and I went there and ate one day, and I wasn't sure, what was going on, but I could literally taste the gentleman's cynicism in his food. Whatever he had going on that day, he was
Hmm.
being extremely cynical. It was really unusual. 'Cause I mean, it's one thing to pick up on all kinds of things, but to pick up on cynicism is really specific. So I thought that was really
Yeah.
interesting.
You didn't get poisoned or anything?
Oh, I don't, I mean, I saw the energy, so I mean, once you see it, then it's able, then the awareness deals with it.
Yeah, but you're able to see that thing more and more. Like I wouldn't be able to at that moment see it because I'm not really looking for it. You have a certain part of your brain that or your mind that you've opened up to that
Yeah, an expanded field awareness.
expanded field awareness. Yeah, that's probably it.
Yeah. But I mean, technically, we all have, the capabilities. We just.
Right, or dormant in some people.
Yeah, or just not taught, not exercised.
How do you think psychics do it?
That's a wonderful question. I mean, I think everybody has a different path to it. I mean, some people have used, certain medicines to do it. Some people have had like car accidents or some traumatic effect, and then all of a sudden they're able to have psychic abilities.
Yeah, that's
Some
something.
people have a seizure even, and all of a sudden they have psychic abilities when they're done. So I mean, I think it all is a little bit different to how we open up the portal, I guess.
Yeah. So apparently, children that were sexually abused as children, they grew up to have psychic abilities, like more likely.
It's a much higher
Yeah,
probability. Yeah.
and apparently, what's his name? There's a scientist, Dean Radin. I don't know if you ever heard of him,
Mm-mm.
but he does this type of science. It's like French science where he studies it, and apparently there's a gene where people are more psychic. It's 4%,
Mm.
but they've taken a bunch of people, they give them a bunch of tests, and there's a certain group that tested 4% higher on the probability of like just guessing things. Consistently 4%. So they're like, what is it about these people? They're all
Mm.
different shaped inside. They had the gene, special gene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's interesting. Yeah. The one thing about you know, a lot of people are like, oh gosh, if I could just, you know, learn the future, oh my gosh, you
No.
know, the things I do. But like the few times that I've focused and tried to, you know, learn the future, you know, like mine specifically, like you'll learn something and then you have to sit and wait and relive it a million times energetically and emotionally and physically before you finally actually get to the event, you know. So it's actually not really the funnest thing to learn.
I've learned you should always be in the present moment.
Hmm.
There's something powerful about that. You're in the past, you're in depression. You're thinking about the future, like you said, you're anxiety, dude. You have to relive it. You have to wait for it. Holy shit, when's it
Yeah.
gonna happen? When's it not? When you're in the present moment, that's where you are.
Hmm.
Because you have one foot in the past, you have one foot in the future. You're pissing on the present moment.
Hmm.
So, and something about you can also reach out to the future and drag that feeling or emotion, and then bring it to the present moment, and then somehow you can manifest whatever you want.
Yeah,
Uh,
and most of the time we're dragging the past around with us in some event or
yeah.
emotion from the past, you know, as opposed to being in the actual present moment where everything's okay now, you
What
know.
is it? Everything is okay. It's great, bro. We're
Yeah,
here. We're in nature.
yeah.
We're in the kitchen. Have fun. Um, what is it? Because I haven't finished reading the book, The Power of Now.
Hmm.
Um, uh, Edgar Tolle.
Yep.
Yeah, and I was listening to a podcast about it with my friend. Perspective Shift. Shout out to Frank. What is it about the present moment that's so important?
Oh, well, I mean, that's the actual spot where we're existing, you know, and I think it's powerful for us to be with ourselves in the moment because then that's where we'll finally be able to unlock our true power and chi and everything, you know, and hopefully, you know, fulfill our true destiny of, you know, manufacturing our divineness.
Nice. And you can't really help that girl that was suffering if you're thinking about paying your bills in the future, right? Technically, yeah. You have to
Yeah.
be in the present moment. You can't be thinking about the past, like, oh, whatever, something happened to me, or
Yeah,
my
some
hair was
traumatic
messed up
event
last
at
week.
9, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah. You have to be in the present moment, right?
Hmm. Yep. And the present is always okay. And if it's not okay, you deal. you,
You can make it okay, bro.
well, you deal with whatever has happening,
But
you
but
know.
I feel like you woke up, you're thinking, dude, you're good.
Hmm.
Or let's say you're poor, you barely afford your car. Even if you have some change in your car, apparently you're like 98% richer than the rest of the world.
Yeah, 96.
96?
Yep.
Dude, that's a staggering odds, bro. You're talking about 8 billion people.
Uh-huh.
96% richer.
Yep.
Um,
We're pretty spoiled.
yeah, yeah. But that's why I like to travel to third world countries.
Hmm.
And it humbles me, bro. It really does. Because I see people that are starving, they're poor, but they're happy, bro. They're
Hmm.
happy.
Yeah, Nepal and Tibet is where that stood out the most to me.
Nepal and Tibet.
Uh-huh.
Dude, I
Yeah.
still want to go to Tibet. And well, next year I'm going to Qatar and then probably go to Pakistan and then Nepal. It's like right next to each other.
Hmm. Yeah, exactly. They are.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. I think it's the Buddhism that they teach there. You know, even if they have nothing, they're still happy. You know.
But that's what it is. Uh, train yourself to, you know, to to
Yeah.
stop the fear of forgetting. I mean, of losing everything. How'd you say it?
Yeah. Well. Yeah. And to me, it's allowing yourself to not be dissatisfied with any moment.
Yeah. Train yourself to let go of everything you fear to lose. So they don't really have anything. They can't really lose anything. So they're happy,
Yeah.
bro, that they're alive.
Yeah. Buddhism, letting go of attachment.
Yeah.
Buddha.
Yeah. Detachment of greed, jealousy, which leads to fear, which can lead to hate, and hate leads to
Yeah.
the dark side.
Buddha called it desire. Desire would lead to all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um. I think someone came up to Buddha once and he said, "How can I be happy?" He said, "Like just erase the word I." Yeah, it's like be happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all you have.
Yeah.
Um, have you seen anything crazy in your life? Like actually with your own eyes?
Oh, I mean,
Like things that science cannot explain. That's what I'm leaning to.
yeah. Well, like one particular moment is somebody was really sick after eating some tomatoes, and I watched a shaman uh, throw up the tomatoes out of the other person.
Really?
Yep.
The shaman threw out the tomatoes,
Uh huh.
and the other person felt great afterwards.
Yep. 100% with my own
Wow.
eyes.
I've seen the YouTube video of some person that was cursed, and apparently they went like this with the egg, and they cracked the egg, and then like they started throwing up worms,
Oh,
and after they felt good. Someone put a curse on them.
wow.
Yeah, I'll show you that clip later, dude. Yeah. So that's actually pretty good. Cool. I always ask this question at the end of every conversation. What do you think people can do just to better themselves, bro? Say they're in a shitty situation,
Mhm.
they're in pain, suffering, or they're just, their life is not going the way they want, or they feel like there's a void in their life. What will be one piece of advice you'll be able to give these people?
Well, start taking charge of yourself from the inside. You know, manufacture your safe domain.
Okay. Manufacture yourself to make. Can you
Say
be a
your
little more
safe
elaborate?
your safe domain. So the inside, no matter then that way, no matter what's going on the outside,
Hmm.
on the inside, you're always okay because you know that I'm secure in my space. I'm safe in my space.
Yeah. There's this famous saying, actually. If you could conquer the enemies from within, no enemy from without can cause you harm.
Yeah,
Same concept?
yeah, exactly. I mean, and if you conquer the enemies within, magically the ones outside will just go away.
Yeah, they will, bro. Just
Yeah,
don't pay them any attention.
yeah. Well, yeah, because most everything is a reflection or mirroring effect, with the universe.
Yeah.
So,
Got it. Dude, I would love to go into that more. I'll definitely have you back, brother. Drew, thank you so much for coming on my
yeah,
podcast. I appreciate it.
thank
Ladies and
you.
gentlemen, since you like this episode, go and subscribe, and we'll catch you next time.